if you're wholly religious, self-righteous, etc., it is not correct or it's not right to own material goods, or it's not okay to be wealthy.
Yeah, on many, many levels, whether it's wealthy or whether it's food or, physical possessions or whatever, that has quite a large impact on some people in their life now.
So is that sort of like the basis of some people using that term, self-sabotage? Once they get to a certain level of wealth, they have to get rid of it because it doesn't gel with this so-called the residue of a previous existence where they got conditioned into thinking that you can't own anything. It's exactly wrong, it's sinful.
That's right, and that there's a shame in that. They feel like there's a shame in giving way to the consensus reality now compared to their religious reality in previous lives, and they don't even know it's happening. But that is, as you said, the self-sabotage comes up totally unconscious. But once we make it conscious and delve into it, they then have a choice, and this is all about giving people choices, conscious choices, so that they can see what's been holding them back and go, well, actually that's not relevant to me now, so let's move on and do that differently.
Yeah, so you guys out there on Blog TV, you're watching this and listening to it and thinking, hey, maybe it could apply to me at some level. Do write in Skype and have a chat to Liana or contact her. So before that, there's this book that we talked about off air before we came on the show that I think would be, in a sense, very useful for people. It's not asking you to be a hypochondriac, by the way, folks, but you use that a fair bit in terms of getting an explanation to your clients about what's going on for them in terms of the physical, like the aches and pains and the itches and I guess allergies that come up. So can you talk about that book, please?
Sure. It's The Secret Language of Your Body by Inna Segal, and it's along the lines of the Louise Hay book, but to me it's more in depth in the emotional level. So it gives people more of an explanation as to the actual emotional blockage that could be causing or added to their physical. There is always going to be just a physical symptom, and that's fine, but this actually gives people the avenue to explore, well, what else, if it's a repeated thing, what else is going on within me? It's a great book with quite a bit of depth, and it also gives the tools as to how to energetically shift these blockages as well. And a lot of people out there now are very much aware of the energy modalities and the feeling of the energy within their own body. So they have a lot more access to being able to use that consciously to heal themselves, and therefore being more empowered around their own lives.
Okay, I just want to ask you one of those where people have got, let's say, reactive arthritis or pain in your joints from inflammation. I'm just throwing this one out at you. So what does that constitute in terms of what's going on for them?
Arthritis is a lack of flexibility to a lot of degrees. It's as people know, arthritis is inflammation within the joints, and this is just the normal arthritis. There's different sorts, but generally speaking, it's about being stuck. Quite often, arthritis in the hands. It's a long-term pattern of not being able to reach out and grab hold of something they want and hold on to it. Arthritis in the knees is quite readily about a long-term flexibility of doing life in a way that is more in the flow. So being rigid about how to do life, how to move forward, how to allow themselves to change and flow with the times, so to speak.
So if they're not flowing or they're feeling sort of kind of stuck, do you actually go back and ask them, is this business that you're in really serving you? or should you be doing something else? Do you ever actually get to that stage where you ask them that? Because, you know, they came with the problem of trying to grow their business, and you're saying perhaps you shouldn't be in this business.
Very much. I mean, quite often people will pick a business just because it makes money rather than what their passion is. It's like a job. You might as well be doing a job if you're doing a business that is not exciting and part of who you are. So there's always that question: why are you doing this particular style of business, and what are you getting out of that, or what are you not getting out of that? So those are the questions that I pose to people to see if they're really real about what they're doing and whether it's working for them on all levels. And, you know, quite often it is, and they actually have a passion in another area that is fulfilling that part of themselves. So there's multifaceted things going on, but the question has to be asked to get the clarity around, yes, it's okay what I'm doing, or no, this is actually not working for me anymore.
Okay, do you then say to them, you know, get to your heart, is it making you joyful, or is it just another day at the office?
Exactly right. So if it's not got that aspect of joy and ease, then we look at why that is, whether it's a blockage or whether it's just they're doing something doesn't resonate with them. It doesn't resonate with who they are in their heart level. And you know, then once we find all those things out, then they can decide what's really real for them and how they want to pursue that.
So how do they get in touch with the heart aspect? Again, it sounds, you know, sort of very feminine in the energy. And also, if you had some hard-nosed businessmen coming to you, do you think they'll be receptive to that thing about, you know, here, Bob, get in touch with your heart?
Well, if it's done in a way that's very practical